hung thick and acrid, a cocktail of burnt timbers and dragon skorka. A pall of gray smoke clung to the shattered skeletons of buildings, obscuring the already dying light of the setting sun. Sergeant Elias gripped his gun tighter, the smooth leather of the hilt providing a small comfort against the frantic hammering of his heart. He was alone. His squad, what was left of them, had scattered at the first thunderous roar, fleeing for the relative safety of the surrounding woods. Elias had stayed. He couldn't leave. This was his home, or what was left of it. The whispers of his family, the echoes of laughter, still clung to the ruined stones. He heard it then, a low, guttural rumble that vibrated through the very ground beneath his boots. The beast was close. He took a deep breath, steeling his nerves. He wasn't a dragon slayer. He was a soldier, trained to fight men, not wing nightmares that breathed fire. But men, women, children, they were all men, women, and children now, reduced to ash by the dragon's fury. He would be their shield, their vengeance. He edged around the crumbling corner of what had once been the bakery. The pungent smell of burnt bread lingered, a cruel reminder of the lives that had lived here. And then he saw it. Scales the color of hammered obsidian gleamed in the dying light. Smoke billowed from its nostrils, each puff a tiny inferno. Its reptilian eyes, twin pools of molten gold, scanned the ruins with chilling intelligence. The sheer size of it was staggering. It was larger than any building left standing, a monstrous engine of destruction draped in scales and teeth. Elias felt a tremor of fear, a cold dread that threatened to paralyze him. But beneath it, simmering like a banked fire, was rage. The dragon lord its head, its snake-like neck unfolding with terrifying grain. It spoke, the voice a grating rumble that cracked the air around them. Where are the others? Little morsel, the ones who groveled for mercy. Elias spat on the ground. They're gone, and you won't find any mercy here. The dragon chuckled, a sound that promised agony, brave words for a fly facing a storm. He charged. He knew it was futile, a desperate act of defiance, but he wouldn't grovel. He wouldn't beg. He would meet this monster with steel and fury. He sprinted across the debris-strewn ground, his boots crunching on shattered stone. He raised his gun, the polished steel reflecting the dragon's fiery gaze. The dragon watched him approach, a flicker of amusement in its golden eyes. It opened its jaws, revealing rows of teeth like daggers. Elias braced himself for the inevitable. But then, something unexpected happened. A section of the bakery's crumbling roof suddenly gave way, dropping a massive chunk of stone onto the dragon's head. The beast roared in surprise and pain, momentarily stunned. It was a last chance. He lunged forward, leaping onto a pile of rubble, using the height to his advantage. He scrambled up the dragon's flank, clinging to the rough scales with desperate strength. The heat radiating from its body was intense, scorching his skin. He reached the base of its neck, the only place where the scales seemed thinner, more vulnerable.
He raised his gun, his arm trembling with exertion, and shot deep into the dragon's flesh. The dragon roared again, a sound of primal fury and pain. It thrashed wildly, trying to dislodge him, but Elias held on, fueled by adrenaline and rage. He shot several more times, feeling it cut through muscle and sinew. The dragon bucked and twisted, thrashing its tail and releasing a torrent of fire. Elias was thrown from its back, landing hard on the ruined street. He lay there, gasping for breath, his body battered and burned. He looked up, expecting to see the dragon descend upon him, but it didn't. The dragon swayed, its massive frame trembling. Blood gushed from the wound in his neck, staining the ground black. It let out one final agonizing roar, then crashed to the earth with a thunderous boom that shook the ruins. Elias lay there, staring at the fallen beast, the taste of ash and blood thick in his mouth. He was battered, burned, and exhausted. But he was alive, and the dragon was dead. He had won. Slowly, painfully, he rose to his feet, his gun still clutched in his hand. He looked around at the ruined town, at the silent, smoke-filled sky. The battle was over. The dragon was slain, but the war, he knew, was just beginning. The rebuilding would be long and arduous, but they would rebuild, they would remember. And they would never forget the soldier who fought a dragon in a ruined town.